If you are tired tonight, you are not failing. If your heart feels worn down, it does not mean you lack faith. If your mind feels heavy, it does not mean you are weak. It means you have been carrying more than most people see. God sees it. He sees the effort it took just to get through the day. He sees the strength you used, even when you felt empty. He sees the quiet moments when he wondered how much longer you could keep going. You did not imagine that weight, and you were never meant to carry it alone. God gives peace to the weary, not peace that ignores pain, not peace that pretends everything is fine, but peace that meets you right where you are. You do not have to fix yourself before coming to God. You do not have to feel strong before resting in His presence. God does not ask you to arrive whole. He meets you while you are healing. If your heart feels tired, let it rest. If your thoughts feel crowded, let them slow. If your spirit feels fragile, you are safe here. God is not disappointed in you. He is near. Tonight is not about effort. It is about release. You are allowed to let go of what you have been holding. You are allowed to stop pushing. You are allowed to rest without guilt. God is steady, even when you feel worn down. God is faithful, even when you feel uncertain. And He is with you now. There are burdens you have held quietly, concerns you did not speak out loud, questions you did not know how to ask. God knows them all. You do not need perfect words for God to hear you. You do not need perfect faith for God to stay with you. Scripture tells us that God gives peace to the weary, not temporary relief, not shallow comfort, but peace that reaches deep into the heart. If today required more from you than you had to give, God knows. If you felt stretched thin, God knows. If you kept going even when you wanted to stop, God knows. You're not weak for feeling tired. You are human, and God meets humanity with compassion. Let your breathing slow naturally. There is nothing urgent here. God is not rushing you forward. He is inviting you to rest. Sometimes healing does not come as sudden change. Sometimes it comes as quiet reassurance, a gentle reminder that you are not carrying life alone. God carries what you cannot. You may not understand the timing of everything in your life. You may wonder why certain prayers feel unanswered, but God is not absent in the waiting. The waiting is not empty. The quiet is not wasted. God works even when you cannot see progress. If your heart feels heavy tonight, you are safe to lay that weight down. God does not ask you to be strong all the time. He asks you to trust Him when strength feels low. Trust does not mean having all the answers. Trust means resting even when clarity has not arrived. God's peace is not fragile. It does not disappear when circumstances remain difficult. It does not fade when uncertainty lingers. His peace stays. As you continue listening, allow your body to soften. Let go of tension in your shoulders. Let go of tightness in your jaw. Let your breathing settle into a steady rhythm. There is no danger in resting here. God is watching over you. He does not sleep. He does not forget. Even when you feel unsure, God remains faithful. Even when your strength feels low, God remains steady. You are not behind in life. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. God's timing unfolds with purpose, even when it feels slow. Remain here. You are held in God's care. God understands the seasons when life feels heavier than usual. There are times when responsibilities stack up, when expectations press in, and when the weight of simply continuing feels exhausting. If you are in one of those seasons now, you are not alone in it. God does not look at your weariness with disappointment. He looks at it with compassion. You were never meant to carry everything by yourself. You were never designed to hold the full weight of life alone. That is why God invites you to bring what you are carrying to Him, not later, not after you recover, not after you feel stronger. Now, there are concerns you revisit again and again in your thoughts, questions that return late at night, situations that feel unresolved. God sees all of them clearly. Nothing about your life is unclear to Him. Even when the path ahead feels uncertain, God is not confused. Even when answers feel delayed, God is not inactive. He works quietly, steadily, faithfully. Sometimes the greatest work God does happens beneath the surface, long before anything looks different on the outside. If you have been waiting for change, know that waiting is not wasted time. Waiting is often where trust grows strongest. God is not absent in the waiting. As you continue listening, allow yourself to release the need to control outcomes. Control is heavy, trust is lighter. You do not need to know how everything will resolve in order to rest tonight. You only need to know that God is present. Scripture reminds us that God is our refuge. A refuge is a place of safety, not a place of pressure. A refuge does not demand answers. It offers shelter. If your heart feels unsettled, let God be your refuge now. You may have carried emotional weight that others do not see, responsibilities that fall quietly on your shoulders, expectations you feel obligated to meet even when you feel depleted. God sees that weight, and He does not ask you to pretend it is not heavy. He invites you to set it down. As you listen, let your breathing slow naturally. There is no urgency here. God is not in a hurry. You are allowed to pause without guilt. You are allowed to rest without apology. Rest is not failure. Rest is obedience to how God designed you. God's peace does not erase problems, but it changes how you carry them. It steadies your heart. It calms your thoughts. It reminds you that you are not alone in what you face. Even now, God is surrounding you with His presence. If your mind begins to wander, that is okay. Gently return your attention to the calm of this moment. There is nothing you need to achieve. This time is not about effort. It is about receiving. God gives peace to the weary because He knows weariness well. He understands the limits of the human heart. He knows when strength is running low, and He meets you there. You do not need to push yourself to feel faith. Faith often grows quietly while you rest. If your heart feels fragile, God handles it gently. If your spirit feels tired, God does not demand more from you. He offers rest. As you remain here, allow that rest to deepen. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow your breathing to slow. God is holding what you have been carrying. You are safe to let go. God knows the moments when your strength feels worn thin. There are days when simply continuing takes more effort than others can see. You may have smiled, spoken kindly, and fulfilled responsibilities, all while feeling tired beneath the surface. God sees that quiet effort. He honors it. You were not meant to live in constant strain. You were created with limits, and God does not shame you for reaching them. Instead, He invites you to rest. Rest is not giving up. Rest is returning to the truth that God is carrying what you cannot. Returning to the reminder that you are not alone in your life. Returning to the peace that does not depend on circumstances. If you feel mentally exhausted, allow your thoughts to slow. You do not need to solve anything tonight. You do not need to replay conversations or rehearse tomorrow. This moment does not require planning or preparation. God is present here. You may have worries that feel persistent, concerns that return again and again, even when you try to release them. God understands how the mind holds on to uncertainty. He is patient with you. You do not need to fight your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass without following them. Let them drift by, and return your attention to the calm of this moment. God's peace does not demand focus. It arrives gently. Scripture reminds us that God gives rest to those who come to Him, not rest as escape, but rest as renewal, rest that restores what has been depleted. If you have been giving more than you have received, God knows how to replenish you. If your emotional reserves feel low, God is not asking for more from you. He is offering support. As your breathing continues slowly, let your body relax further. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow your jaw to unclench. There is no urgency here. You are not falling behind by resting. You are aligning yourself with how God designed you. There may be areas of your life that feel uncertain right now. Situations you cannot control, outcomes you cannot predict. God is not threatened by uncertainty. He is already present in what feels unknown to you. The future does not require your vigilance tonight. God is watching over it. If fear tries to surface, acknowledge it gently and let it go. Fear does not need to be confronted aggressively. It loses strength when it is no longer fed. God's presence is steady. It does not fluctuate with emotion. It does not withdraw when confidence fades. It remains constant. You are not required to hold yourself together perfectly. God is gentle with the parts of you that feel worn. He does not demand strength from you when you are tired. Scripture tells us that God renews strength quietly, often without announcement, often without immediate change. Renewal happens beneath the surface. Even now, God is restoring what has been drained. He is steadying what feels unsettled. He is bringing calm where there has been strain. If sleep begins to come, allow it. If wakefulness remains, allow that too. There is no right way to be in this moment. This time is not measured by productivity. It is measured by presence. God is present with you. You are safe to let go of effort, safe to release tension, safe to rest. Nothing you are facing is beyond God's care. Nothing you are carrying is beyond His strength. Remain here. Breathe slowly. Rest fully. God is near. God knows how long you have been holding yourself together. There are seasons in life when simply continuing feels like an act of strength. You wake up, do what is required of you, and carry on even when you feel tired beneath the surface. God sees that effort. He does not overlook it. You were never meant to live in constant strain. You were not designed to carry every burden alone. That is why God invites you to rest in His presence. Rest does not mean you are giving up. Rest means you are trusting that God is working even when you cannot see progress. Trusting that God is present even when answers feel delayed. Trusting that you are not alone in your life. If your thoughts feel busy, allow them to slow. You do not need to solve anything right now. You do not need to prepare for tomorrow in this moment. This time is not about planning. It is about peace. God is not asking you to fix what feels broken tonight. He is asking you to place it in His care. There may be concerns that have followed you through the day, questions that return when everything grows quiet. God understands the weight of those thoughts. He does not rush you through them. Instead, He invites you to release them gently. As you listen, allow your breathing to remain slow and natural. There is no urgency here. God is not in a hurry. You are safe to pause. Scripture reminds us that God is our refuge. A refuge is a place of safety, not pressure. It is where the heart can rest without fear of being judged. If your heart feels unsettled, let God be your refuge now. You may have carried responsibilities that others do not see, expectations that feel heavy, obligations that require strength even when you feel depleted. God sees that weight clearly, and He does not expect you to carry it alone. God's peace does not erase difficulties, but it changes how you carry them. It steadies your thoughts. It softens your heart. It reminds you that you are supported. Even now, God is surrounding you with His presence. If your mind wanders, that is okay. Gently return to the calm of this moment. Nothing needs to be forced. This time is not about effort. It is about receiving. God gives peace to the weary because He understands weariness deeply. He knows when strength is running low. He knows when rest is needed, and He meets you there. You do not need to perform faith. You do not need to prove trust. Faith often grows quietly while you rest. If your heart feels fragile, God handles it gently. If your spirit feels tired, God does not demand more from you. He offers rest. As this time continues, allow that rest to deepen. Let go of tension you have been holding unconsciously. Allow your body to soften. God is holding what you have been carrying. You are safe to let go. You are not behind in life. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. God's timing unfolds with purpose, even when it feels slow. Remain here. Breathe slowly. Rest fully. God is near. God knows how much you have been carrying. There are responsibilities you have shouldered quietly, expectations you have tried to meet faithfully, and pressures you have endured without complaint. God sees every part of that. He does not miss the effort it takes just to keep going when you feel tired beneath the surface. You were never meant to live in constant strain. You were never designed to carry every burden alone. That is why God invites you into rest, not as an escape, but as a return to truth. Rest is not weakness. Rest is trust. Trust that God is present even when answers are delayed. Trust that God is working even when progress feels slow. Trust that you are not alone in your life. If your thoughts feel busy, allow them to slow. You do not need to plan or prepare right now. This moment does not require solutions or decisions. It only requires presence. God is present with you now. There may be concerns that revisit your mind repeatedly, situations that feel unresolved, questions that return late at night. God understands how the mind holds on to uncertainty, and He is patient with you. You do not need to fight your thoughts. Simply allow them to pass. Let them drift without following them. Gently return your attention to the calm of this moment. God's peace does not demand focus. It arrives quietly. Scripture reminds us that God is our refuge. A refuge is a place of safety, not pressure. A refuge does not demand explanations. It offers shelter. If your heart feels unsettled, let God be your refuge now. You may have been strong for others. You may have carried emotional weight without speaking it aloud. You may have felt responsible even when you were exhausted. God sees that weight clearly, and He does not ask you to carry it alone. God's peace does not erase difficulty, but it changes how you carry it. It steadies your heart. It calms your thoughts. It reminds you that you are supported. Even now, God is surrounding you with His presence. If your breathing feels shallow, allow it to deepen slowly. There is no urgency here. God is not rushing you. You are safe to pause. Rest does not put you behind. Rest aligns you with how God designed you. There may be areas of your life that feel uncertain right now, outcomes you cannot control, paths that feel unclear. God is not threatened by uncertainty. He is already present in what feels unknown to you. The future does not need your vigilance tonight. God is watching over it. If fear tries to rise, acknowledge it gently and release it. Fear loses strength when it is not fed. God's presence is steady. It does not fluctuate with emotion. It does not withdraw when confidence fades. It remains constant. You are not required to hold yourself together perfectly. God is gentle with the parts of you that feel worn. He does not demand strength when you are tired. Scripture tells us that God renews strength quietly, often beneath the surface, often without announcement. Renewal does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like calm returning. Even now, God is restoring what has been drained. He is steadying what feels unsettled. He is bringing peace where there has been strain. If sleep begins to come, allow it. If wakefulness remains, allow that too. There is no right way to be here. This time is not measured by productivity. It is measured by presence. God is present with you. You are safe to release effort, safe to let go of tension, safe to rest. Nothing you are facing is beyond God's care. Nothing you are carrying is beyond His strength. You do not need to prove faith. You do not need to perform trust. Faith often grows quietly while you rest. If your heart feels fragile, God handles it gently. If your spirit feels tired, God does not demand more from you. He offers rest. As this time continues, allow that rest to deepen. Let go of tension you have been holding without noticing. Allow your body to soften further. God is holding what you have been carrying. You are not behind in life. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. God's timing unfolds with purpose, even when it feels slow. Remain here. Breathe slowly. Rest fully. God is near. Even now, God is attentive to the quiet movements of your heart. Nothing you feel is insignificant to Him. No concern is too small. No fear is too familiar for Him to ignore. God listens even when your prayers feel wordless. There are moments when you may wonder if your efforts matter, if your faith is enough, or if your quiet endurance is seen. God sees it all. He understands the strength it takes to remain faithful when life feels heavy. You are not invisible to God. Scripture reminds us that God is close to those who are weary and gentle with those who are tired. He does not demand more from you when your strength feels low. He offers support. As you rest here, allow yourself to stop striving. Let go of the habit of pushing forward when your body and mind are asking for rest. This moment is not about progress, it is about peace. God's peace does not require perfection. It does not depend on how well you perform today. It is available to you simply because God is present. If your thoughts drift toward worries, allow them to pass gently. You do not need to engage them. You do not need to resolve them tonight. God is capable of handling what concerns you. The night is a time for release. Release the need to stay alert. Release the pressure to stay strong. Release the expectation to have everything figured out. God is steady even when you are tired. You may have been carrying disappointment, uncertainty, or quiet sorrow. God does not rush your healing. He is patient with the process. He walks with you through it. Healing is often gentle. Healing is often slow. Healing is often quiet. And God is present through it all. As your breathing continues, allow peace to settle deeper. Let it reach places in your body that have been tense. Let it soften areas that have felt guarded. God's presence does not overwhelm. It reassures. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to pause without explanation. You are allowed to be cared for. God remains faithful. Nothing about your life is beyond His care. Nothing about your future is uncertain to Him. Nothing about your heart is too fragile for His touch. Remain here. Breathe slowly. Rest fully. God is near. There are moments when the hardest part of faith is not believing in God, but trusting Him with what comes next. You may find yourself thinking ahead, wondering how things will unfold, questioning whether you will have what you need when the time comes. This does not mean you lack faith. It means you care deeply about your life and the people connected to it. God understands that concern. He is not offended by your questions about the future. He is not distant from your uncertainty. He knows that trusting what you cannot see takes courage. Scripture reminds us that God goes before us. This means you are never stepping into the unknown alone. Wherever you are headed, God is already there. You do not need to anticipate every challenge in order to be prepared. God prepares you quietly, often long before you realize it. There are lessons being formed within you even now, strength being built, wisdom taking shape, not through pressure, but through steady presence. If you have been worried about making the right decisions, know that God is patient. He does not rush you into clarity. He guides gently, step by step. You are allowed to take life one moment at a time. Faith is not about controlling outcomes. Faith is about walking forward knowing that God is faithful, even when the path is not fully visible. You may not see how everything will come together, but God does. You may not understand the timing, but God is not late. As you continue listening, allow yourself to release the burden of trying to predict every outcome. The future does not need your constant attention. God is already working within it. Even the delays serve a purpose. Even the waiting shapes something meaningful. Nothing is wasted in God's care. If your heart feels guarded, let it soften slightly. You do not have to open everything at once. Trust grows gradually. God is not asking you to leap forward blindly. He is asking you to walk with Him one step at a time, and that is enough. This moment is not asking anything from you. You do not need to understand everything you are feeling. You do not need to make sense of every thought that passes through your mind. God is not waiting for clarity before offering His presence. Some things in life take time to settle. Some answers unfold slowly. Some healing happens in layers rather than all at once. God is patient with that process. You are allowed to be in the middle of things. Faith is not about having every piece in place. Faith is about continuing to walk even when parts of the picture are still forming. God is steady even when life feels unsettled. If you have been questioning your direction, wondering if you are doing enough, or worrying about what lies ahead, know that God understands those concerns. He does not shame you for them. He walks with you through them. You are not expected to carry certainty at all times. You are only asked to remain open to God's guidance. Guidance does not always come as a sudden realization. Often it comes quietly, through peace returning, through tension easing, through the heart softening. As you remain here, allow yourself to stop evaluating everything. Let go of self-assessment. Let go of comparison. Let go of the pressure to measure where you should be by now. God's care for you is not conditional. He is not keeping score. He is not withholding peace. He is not distant from your uncertainty. You are held even in the unfinished places. As this time continues, there is nothing more you need to carry. You have done enough for today. You have given what you could. And now you are allowed to rest. God is not measuring your progress tonight. He is not reviewing your mistakes. He is not asking you to prepare for what comes next. He is simply with you. The same God who sustained you through the day will watch over you through the night. The same God who gave you strength when you needed it will guard your rest now. You do not need to stay alert. You do not need to hold your thoughts together. You do not need to remain strong. God is strong for you. If your body feels tired, let it rest fully. If your mind feels quiet, let it remain quiet. If sleep begins to come, allow it without resistance. Nothing will be lost by resting. Nothing will fall apart while you sleep. Nothing will slip beyond God's care. Scripture reminds us that God gives rest to those He loves. Rest that is not anxious. Rest that is not fragile. Rest that is safe. You are safe. Safe to release the day. Safe to lease the day. Safe to let go of worry. Safe to stop striving. God is near in the stillness. God is present in the quiet. God is watching over you now. There is no rush into tomorrow. There is no need to look ahead. This moment is complete. As your breathing slows, let peace settle deeply. Not forced peace, not temporary calm, but quiet assurance. You are held, you are cared for. You are not alone. Remain here as long as you need. Rest as deeply as you can. God is faithful. God is steady. God is enough. Rest.